Have you ever asked yourself, am I on the right path? Did I make the right choices? Is there anything I missed or overlooked? What if I had been dealt a different set of cards? What if I had it differently? No matter your background or your personality, to wander is to be human. The very thing that differs us from the rest of the animal kingdom is our ability to introspect, to examine our conscious thoughts and feelings. We want control, but we long to let go. We want certainty, but spontaneity brings us excitement. We crave happiness, but we constantly look for things that are not enough. The whole human existence is complex, and yet it's this complexity that makes it so beautiful and wonderful. Last month, I turned 27 and thus entered my late 20s. And while the internet tells me that apparently this is the worst period of my life, I think it's more nuanced than that. You see, your 20s are the first decade you're an adult. You finish school, you finish uni, and you go into the real world to discover who you are, what you like, and what you want. You let go of childhood traumas, bad patterns. Sometimes you find traumas that you didn't even know existed, but mostly you work on shaping yourself to be the person you want to be. I remember my mom saying years ago that the older you get, the more you realize how much there is yet to learn. And I've always been quite divided on this. From one hand, yes, maturing is realizing that there's so much you don't know. But on the other hand, I always thought there must be an age where you settle down, where you formed into the person you want to be. You can always tweak, you can always change, but your core gets developed at some point. I like to be in charge of my life. It gives me the illusion that I can control everything. But I also crave peace because that allows me to let it go and let it be. Isn't that funny? I crave polar opposites, which means eventually one or the other will have to go. I cannot simultaneously want to control every single aspect of everything, but also want peace and quiet and all of that. Because peace and quiet means letting it go, allowing myself to not be in control of everything, allowing all the imperfections in this world to exist. I've actually experienced this a lot in my life, this feeling of two sides clashing, rubbing against each other, not wanting to simultaneously be. And I always joke around and I say that it's because I'm a Capricorn Aquarius cusp, which basically means that I was born on a day where one star sign changes to another, and that's why I have these two personalities, and that's why I can never decide which one I want to be. But jokes aside, does anyone ever truly fit in a pre-made box? Does anyone ever feel like they have a bullet list of things that fit a certain personality type? Maybe my wide variety of interests, my waves of different emotions, and my love to wonder and philosophize about different things and topics is not a sign of 100 personalities, but just my personality as a whole. So going back to the existential questions, there are many theories why they arise in your late 20s. Some have to do with your brain finally maturing and developing because that happens around 25, 26, 27. Some theories are more astrological. Just Google Saturn return and you'll know what I'm talking about. And some are simply logical. You're entering adulthood. You're quote unquote a grown-up. And because there are still so many unknown things in the world, you just want to make sure that you're doing everything correctly and the right way. There's this quote: life is like a deck of cards. The hand you are dealt is determinism, but the way you play it is free will, which actually means that life and living is non-deterministic. It all changes and evolves as you go. You might think the choices you made in the past are swinging your life in this direction, but then along the way, you make different choices, and so your life takes a turn as well. There is no right path. There is no right choice. You haven't missed or overlooked anything. Life is full of ups and downs, turns and twists. Your life is within you at all times. And even if you look back and think, oh, I wish I would have done this differently. Oh, I wish I would have done this better. You couldn't have. Not in this life, because that thing, that situation made you who you are today. A different decision is an alternative life, and that's not the life you are in. Your life is this. You sitting, watching this video, being here, this is your life. And every day is a new day to make a new decision. My biggest hope for my 28th year on this planet, because when I turned 27 last month, I officially entered my 28th year, which is crazy, is to embrace and allow change to happen, to let it be, to sit with it. I have to remember that there are things that are beyond my control, and that's okay. And I also have to remember that there are things that will happen to me that are crucial and necessary for my development. And the reason I say this is because there are many things that are happy and joyful that are good for your development, but sometimes there can be things in your life when you face them in that moment and think why, or maybe they're unpleasant or sad, but then a couple of years go by and you're like, this was necessary for me. This was necessary for my brain, my soul, my development. The most important thing to remember is that my life is happening for me, not to me. And that's the same thing I want you to remember. Your life is happening for you, not to you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I kind of want to use this time to quickly plug in my TikTok. I realized that I haven't done it in such a while. I've been posting there daily and I show more of my fun side. I talk about different things and I've been really enjoying it. So if you want to check it out, I'm gonna link it down below. But again, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time.